Hello everyone, welcome to the Autring. Moscow is starting to return some troops at the Ukrainian border to their bases, the Russian government announced Tuesday. But Ukraine's president and Western officials have urged caution over taking Russia's claims at face value. In a statement early Tuesday, Igor Konashenkov, a spokesman for the Russian Ministry of Defense, said troops had recently been posted to Russia's southern and western military districts, which share a border with Ukraine, had completed their military drills and, quote, have already begun loading onto rail and transport and will begin moving to their military garrisons today. Konashenkov also announced that Russian troops currently engaged in military drills in neighboring Belarus, which shares a border with Ukraine to the latter's north, would return to their permanent bases when the exercises ended on Feb 20. However, in a response to Russia later on Tuesday, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said, quote, "We in Ukraine have a rule. We don't believe what we hear, we believe what we see. If a real withdrawal follows these statements, we will believe in the beginning of a real de-escalation." On a call with reporters on Tuesday, Julianne Smith, President Joe Biden's ambassador to NATO, downplayed the Kremlin's claim. Quote, "We'll have to verify that and take a look. You may remember in late December there were similar claims that came out of Moscow that they were de-escalating, and in fact, facts on the ground did not support that claim," Smith said. "This is something that we'll have to look at closely and verify in the days ahead," she added. Thousands of Russian troops have begun engaging in military drills last week, in a move that was widely seen as a display of strength by Moscow. The drills came as more than 100,000 soldiers, tanks, missiles, and even fresh blood supplies had been moved to Russia's border with Ukraine. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby told reporters that US and its allies are closely watching the drills. Quote, "Over the years, and over the course of the weekend, Mr. Putin had added military capability along that border with Ukraine and in Belarus," Kirby said. "He is exercising some of his units on the ground in the south, as well as the naval units in the Black Sea. He continues to give himself more options should he pursue a military path here," Kirby said. "He continues to advance his readiness should he choose to go down a military path here, and should he choose to invade again. He's doing all the things you expect him to do to make sure he's ready for that option." Moscow has reportedly insisted it has no plans to invade Ukraine, despite warnings from Western countries in recent days that an invasion is likely to be imminent. Russian President Vladimir Putin told a press conference on Tuesday that he saw some leeway for further discussions with the West over the situation in Ukraine, Reuters reported, reiterating that Russia had decided upon a partial withdrawal of its troops from the border. His comments came several hours after the Kremlin dubbed US warnings that Moscow could launch an attack on Wednesday baseless hysteria. A Kremlin spokesperson had also said tensions had been exacerbated by a huge buildup of Ukrainian forces and Western claims that war is imminent, according to Reuters. The situation at Ukraine's border is part of a broader, long-term issue. Russian lawmakers voted on Tuesday to ask Putin to recognize two Russian-supported breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine as independent. Around 13,000 people in East Ukraine have died in an ongoing conflict between Ukrainian troops and pro-Russian separatists in the Donbas region, which Putin referred to as, quote, genocide, at the news conference on Tuesday. Russian envoy to the EU, Vladimir Chizhov, said on Tuesday that Russia will not invade Ukraine unless we are provoked. "If the Ukrainians launch an attack against Russia, you shouldn't be surprised if we counterattack," he said, according to the state news agency TASS. "Or if they start blatantly killing Russian citizens anywhere, Donbas or wherever." NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg told a news conference on Tuesday that while there was a reason for, quote, cautious optimism over the situation in Ukraine, the military alliance so far had not seen any sign of de-escalation on the ground from the Russian side. "Russia has amassed a fighting force in and around Ukraine unprecedented since the Cold War," he said. "Everything is in place for a new attack. But Russia still has time to step back from the brink, stop preparing for war, and start working for a peaceful solution." NATO has not received any response from Russia regarding its request for a meeting to discuss the current situation, Stoltenberg told reporters, adding that any move from Russia into Ukraine would violate international law. He added that Russia's continued efforts to destabilize Ukraine through its annexation of Crimea in 2014 and support of Russian separatists in the country, as well as current buildup of troops along the Ukrainian border and NATO territory, meant that the organization may need to consider making long-term security adjustments. Thank you all so much for watching. For further updates, please stay tuned to the Autring.